A distressing call came in about a young Corgi who had suffered unimaginable abuse. His life had nearly ended at the hands of a cruel, drunken owner. But fate had other plans. A compassionate bystander had witnessed the horror and immediately reached out for help. Rescuers rushed to the scene, their hearts heavy with urgency. When they arrived, they found the small dog curled up in fear, his body weak and trembling. His fur was dirty and matted, his eyes filled with pain and exhaustion. Yet, as one of the rescuers gently scooped him into their arms, he seemed to sense their kindness, leaning into their warmth as if grasping onto the only comfort he had ever known. The Corgi flinched at the sight of the growing crowd, instinctively retreating behind the arms of the person holding him. Despite his suffering, he still held on to a faint glimmer of trust. Meanwhile, the man responsible for his torment was taken into police custody, facing the consequences of his brutal actions. Justice would be served, but the wounds left on the dog, both seen and unseen, would take far longer to heal. Initially, rescuers thought the Corgi had minor dental injuries, but the reality was far worse. During the rushed transport to the hospital, the dog panted heavily, his breathing strained. The vet's examination revealed a shocking truth. His jaw had been broken in half. A severe skin disease, caused by prolonged neglect, had spread across his fragile body. Despite his thirst, drinking water was agony. Each sip brought whimpers of pain, his tiny frame shuddering as he tried to endure it. But the worst news was yet to come. The veterinarian's final diagnosis struck like a bolt of lightning. His diaphragm had ruptured. Several of his internal organs had shifted into his ribcage, crushing his right lung and rendering it completely useless. His condition was critical, and without immediate surgery, survival was unlikely. Determined to give him a fighting chance, the medical team acted swiftly. Hours passed as they worked tirelessly to repair the damage. When the first surgery finally ended, there was a glimmer of hope. The Corgi slowly awoke in the incubator, his body weak but no longer teetering on the brink of death. His eyes, clouded with confusion, darted around as if struggling to believe the reality before him he had been saved. And then, the moment that filled the rescuers with hope, his gaze landed on a small plate of food. For the first time in what must have felt like forever, his eyes lit up. Hunger returned. Not as a reminder of neglect, but as proof that he wanted to live. Now, the little fighter waits for his second surgery, a jaw transplant that will allow him to eat, drink, and live without pain. Though the road to recovery will be long, he is no longer alone. With care, patience, and love, he will have the chance at the beautiful life he was once denied. If this story touched your heart, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. Stay with us for more incredible rescues. See you in the next video.